developing, but that's a story for another day. Let's dive deep into what's going on now. The World Road Running Championships. Now, this was the inaugural World Road Running Championships being held in the world, and the Kenyans were obviously there. And guess what they did? This was being touted as match fixing because Ebenyo here is saluting Sawe, who has passed him, and it seems like Ebenyo could also be going for the gold medal, but he lets Sawe go, and he takes into the silver, and Kenya takes 1, 2, 3. Now, Captain, you talk about this as an athlete. What do you think? Okay, let's first congratulate the team.
Absolutely.
Kenya won the team title as well.
Yeah, I think something very important is that to congratulate the team because they were able to perform. Despite the fact that so many Kenyans, they were waiting to watch Faith Kipyegon to win. She didn't win, which I understand, and I would understand why.
Yep.
But we have got to keep to the Kenyan team that they were able to bring 3 gold medals, and with 21 kilometers, they were able to dominate both men and women, 1, 2, 3 on the podium. However, if we are talking about Ebenyo and Sawe, I actually watched the race, and I can tell you that towards the end, Ebenyo was sure that he was going to win. He did not understand that Sawe still had a lot of power in his legs, and that's why he was able to salute him. And of course, Sawe went ahead to win the race. But you have got to give it to Ebenyo.
And I don't know, he's saying this is the champion, but I think he was behind Sawe anyway. I mean, he was not going to take over from him.
Actually, he was in front all along.
It could just be the camera angle, but I think Sawe is in front of him at that time of the race. And that's why he says, this is the man, I'm going to be second, and he salutes him, and he sticks into the second position. I mean, we are happy that they were, look, it could just be the camera angle here, in my opinion, because he is behind. It's just as he's running on another line altogether. But by the time they come to the sprint finish, you can see how far Ebenyo is.
I think Sawe was ahead all the time, Bernard, from what I've seen in that screenshot. And when you talk of angle of the camera, we've seen so much of that in football last weekend.
No, the thing is that
you can appreciate it.
This is right in front. The camera is in front of them.
Yeah,
so sometimes when people are approaching you from the camera, you don't know who's ahead and who's not, unless it's a long shot like this one. And from this long shot, he couldn't have created that distance between him and Ebenyo in that short time towards the end.
In fact, then if he had, then Milo would have caught up with Sawe, you see.
Milo was further behind. So, Captain, what do you think?
Let me put it this way, because I was able to watch almost the entire race. Ebenyo was ahead because he's a front runner. And let me tell you, Bernard, when you are a front runner and there is an athlete who is a little bit stronger for you, they are able to use. And what I think is if you look at both of them, it looks like Ebenyo could have talked to him because he was like, I've taken the lead for all these races, and then you're just coming to pass. But then, you know what? He just said, I salute you, my friend. Just go ahead. Just go ahead and win it for the country. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the women's race then. Paris Chepchirchir. She made history in this race, didn't she?
She did, and then remember that for me, during the World Championships, I was 100% sure that most likely Paris Chepchirchir, especially with her consistency in running and especially for the marathon and half marathon, the consistency that she has had for a very long time. My expectation was she was going to be in the World Championships. Unfortunately, probably maybe she decided to prepare for this. And I think you have got to give it to Paris because she's one of the most consistent athletes in the long distance. And of course, we were able to win 1, 2, 3. Same thing for the men, that we were also able to win 1, 2, 3. And I think that is, you have got to give it to Margaret Chilimo, who was second, and Catherine, who was third. Then, of course, Sebastian, won the men's. Sebastian Kimaru, Daniel Ebenyo, of course, second, and then Samuel Nyamai becoming third.
This was Chepchirchir's third half marathon victory. Now that's historic because she's the only woman in history to have done that as well.
Yes, but Bernard, if you have watched her, I forget the last race that she won, but the same consistency that she showed is exactly what we were saying in
So why are you putting but then? In fact, I was waiting for something because when you put but, it negates everything else that has been said before. So you should say and then add.
Apologies. Okay, it's English.
No. Don't use but. I was waiting for something in the opposite direction. I was wondering what it is. Okay. It is. Yeah. Third time. 3 times half marathon champion, and that's historic.
It is historic, and what I'm getting from this, the mojo that came out of this is that Kenya is actually getting back to where it used to be, and
with clean athletes.
With clean athletes, yes. And I'm hoping that this will now stream down to the steeplechase. I really do feel for that steeplechase event. I believe like it was made for us, you know. So
and then, Bernard, you know, something very interesting, especially on this, you know, it is road running that they have made it to be in the calendar of the world athletics, because you have got to understand that there is so many athletes that may not be able to run in the track. They are very good on the road running, and it is good to have a championships, especially whereby, you know, those athletes who are very good on the track can be able to showcase what they are.
But I think there's also a bigger story in this, Captain, but we'll handle this on another forum altogether. The fact that now road running is being placed on its own makes it easier to also test the road runners, because this doping scourge is big. And you know, road runners